Hello my dear students, in continuation of our series for PYQ's question, today we'll discuss some more previous year question from your Neet examinations. So the today's question is, first question is, a parallel plate capacitor has a uniform electric field E. Actually this question is from your class 12 syllabus, the topic is capacitor. We are provided with a parallel plate capacitor has a uniform electric field E in space between the plates. If the distance between the plates is d and the area of each plate is A, the energy is stored in the capacitor. We have to predict the value of energy stored. As we all know, in parallel plate capacitor there are two plates. First is positively charged and other is negatively charged. And the distance between the two plates is d and the area of overlapping is A. Okay, the electric field line passes from plus to minus. This is the actually diagram of capacitor. Okay. Now, according to question, we have to calculate the value of energy stored in the capacitor. So, the formula for energy is equal to energy density into volume. And in case of capacitor, the energy density is half E naught E square, where small E naught is permittivity of free space and capital E is the electric field. We have to multiply energy density into volume. So, volume can be written as area into distance, or simply volume is the meter cube. So we can write meter cube as meter square into meter. Meter square is actually area into length or distance. Okay. Why we have calculated in this format? Because in this the question is about energy stored, and the correct option is option number 4. Okay. Now moving to the next part. The next question. The number of photons per second on an average emitted by the source of monochromatic light of wavelength is. Firstly, what is monochromatic? Monochromatic simply means single colored. Mono means single and chrom means color. Monochromatic simply means single colored, and the basic example of this is monochromatic is sodium vapor lamp. So the wavelength is given as 600 nanometer. When it delivers the power of 3.3 into 10 raised to power minus 3 watt will be, we have to calculate the value of power. Okay. So the formula for power is NSC into lambda. Now we have to calculate the number of photons. So we rearrange the formula in terms of N means number of photons, P lambda upon SC. Now the P, what is the value of P power? 3.3 into 10 raised to power minus 3. So we put the value of P as 3.3 into 10 raised to power minus 3, and the value of lambda wavelength is 600 nanometer. We convert the nanometer into meter by just multiplying it to 10 raised to power minus 9. Upon H is the Planck constant. The value is 6.6 into 10 raised to power minus 34, and C is the velocity of light, that has been known, 3 into 10 raised to power 8, and the answer is 10 raised to power 16. Now the required answer is option number 4. See, in this type of question, we just not have to do the exact calculation. In option, you can see there are only 10 raised to power exponents term, so we have to only calculate the value of exponent term. It does not have to be in-depth calculation of this type of problems. Now moving to the next question. The next question says the polar molecules are the molecules. We have to define the polar molecules. The polar molecule is nothing but having a permanent electric dipole moment. Now, polar molecules have the center of positive and negative charges separated by some distance, so they have permanent dipole moment. We can simply understand polar molecules have poles, and poles means opposite polarities. Okay, they are separated by some distance. Because of opposite polarities, these have permanent dipole moment. Moving to the next part, the question is related to radioactivity. The half-life of a radioactive nuclei is 100 hours. Okay, half-life is given as 100 hours. The fraction of original activity that will be remain after 150 hours will be. We have to calculate the value of which value? Activity. Okay, so the direct relation between activity and half-life is this: A upon A naught is equal to 1 by 2 T upon TH. Okay, now putting the value of 1 by 2 is 1 by 2. TH is the original half-life is 100 hours. So putting the value of TH as 100, and we have to calculate after 150 hours. So small t is 150. Solving, we get 1 upon 2 root 2. So this is our option number 3rd. This can be solved by simply application of direct relation between activity and half-life. Now moving to the next question, this is also related to capacitor. A capacitor of capacitance C is connected to AC source of voltage V given by. We are provided with the equation of voltage equation, V is equal to V naught sin omega t. The displacement current between the plates of the capacitor would be, we have to calculate the value of displacement current. There are two types of current, conduction current and displacement current. So we can simply understand the concept as this is our capacitor plus minus, we have connected it to a source. We have connected it to a source. Now, we have connected to a source. Now, due to this source, the current is IC. IC means conduction current, which flows outside the capacitor. And due to the electric field between this, there is another current that is known as displacement current, which actually flows between the plates of capacitor. So we have to calculate the value of displacement current by simply using the relation of charge and voltage. Q is equal to CV. Now we have to calculate current. Current is simply the differentiation of charge. So we calculate the dq upon dt, that comes out to be C dV by dt. Okay. Now we put C as it is. Now V is given in the equation as V naught sin omega t. We just put the value of V as V naught sin omega t and differentiate this value. We get V naught omega cos omega t. So that is the required option number second. Okay. This concept can be solved simply by the differentiation of charge. I is equal to dq by dt. We know current is equal to rate of flow of charge, dq by dt. And by putting the values of q and solving for id, we get the required answer. Moving to the next part, this question is related to your class 11 measurement chapter, starting chapter. A screw gauge gives the following reading when it is used to measure the diameter of a wire. As we all know, a screw gauge is used to measure the thickness and the radius of a small object, small wire shape. There are two types of scale, main scale reading and circular. The main scale reading comes out to be 0 mm because objects are very smaller, and the circular scale reading is 52 division. As we all know, there are total 100 division and the reading comes out to be at 52 division. Now, given that 1 mm on the main scale corresponding to 100 division on the circular scale. When there is a movement of 1 mm in the main scale, there are 100 division in the circular scale. Now we have to calculate the diameter of the wire. So by just using the simple formula, least count is equal to pitch upon CSD. CSD means circular scale division, and pitch, according to the question, the pitch is 1 mm. So we have put the value at 1 mm and total number of division in circular scale is 100. So 1 mm upon 100, solving we get 0.01 m, or in centimeter it comes out to be 0.001 centimeter. Now the total reading is the combination of main and circular scale reading. So the total reading will be main scale reading plus n into least count. Okay. So the main scale reading is 0. And number of division of circular 52 and the least count is 0.001. Solving we get 0.052 centimeter, that is our required option number A. 1. Why we have converted meter into centimeter? Because in option we are only provided with centimeter. That's why, keeping in view the options of MCQ, we have used the centimeter instead of meter. Okay. Moving to the next part. The next part is related to prism. Question says, find the value of angle of emergence from the prism. The refractive index of the glass is √3. We have to calculate the value of angle of emergence. So the diagram is given in this format. Okay. Now according to the question, incident ray is this and this is our emergent ray. According to question, this is 60 degree, this is also 60 degree. Now as we all know, in case of prism, the sum R1 plus R2 is equal to A. The angle of refraction R1 R2 combines to give angle of prism, and the angle of prisms come out to be 30 degree. How we calculate? Because in this triangle, this is our 60 degree and this is our 90 degree, and as we know, the sum of three angles of a triangle is 180 degree, so the remaining angle is 30 degree. Now R1 plus R2 gives A and the value of A is 30 degree. Okay. Now the values of R2 is 30 degree and R1 is equal to 0. From Snell's law, sin I upon sin R is equal to mu. On solving, we get the answer option number 2. Okay, but we have just implemented the Snell's law, sin I upon sin R is equal to mu, that is known as the refractive index of the medium. Just solving, we get answer as 60 degree. Okay. Yes, moving to the next question. This question is related to our class 12 potentiometer topic. Question says, in a potentiometer circuit, a cell of EMF 1.5 volt, we are provided with a cell having EMF of 1.5 volt, gives a balance point at 36 centimeter. Balance point means where the bridge is, potentiometer is balanced. If the another cell of EMF 2.5 volt replace the first cell, then what will be the length of the wire or the balancing length? So the question simply says, when the potential is 1.5 volt, the balancing length is 36. If the potential or the EMF is 2.5, what will be the balancing length? So the simple relation between this is E1 upon E2 is equal to L1 upon L2. This is the required relation between EMF and the balancing length. E1 is given as 1.5, E2 as 2.5, first balancing length is 36. We have to calculate the other balancing length, that comes out to be 60 centimeter. That is our option number 2. This is simply the application of concept of potentiometer. Now, moving to the next part, this is important question related to your class 11. A particle is released from the height s from the surface of the earth. At a certain height, its kinetic energy is 3 times its potential energy. So, this question can be simply understood as, this is our earth. Now, this is in something tower structure of having height according to question s height. What is the value? S height. A particle is released from height s from the surface of the earth. This is earth surface and this is s height. At certain height, its kinetic energy is 3 times the potential energy. When the particle is thrown, at certain point, this is condition, kinetic energy is 3 times of potential energy. Its kinetic energy is 3 times of potential energy. Okay. Now, the question again says, the height from the surface of the earth and the speed of the particle at that distance will be. Now, we have to calculate the position of this point at which the kinetic energy is 3 times the potential energy, and the question says the what will be the speed of the particle. So this numerical can be solved by the application of concept of conservation of energy. Conservation of energy says the sum of potential energy plus kinetic energy is equal to mgh. According to question, the height is s, so we have put the value h as s. Okay. According to the given condition, kinetic energy is equal to 3 times of potential energy. So we can simply put the value of kinetic energy as 3pe. When we put value P plus 3P, we get 4P. 4P means potential energy, and in RHS it is given as mgs. Okay. Now we know the value of potential energy. The formula for potential energy is mgh. So we have just put the value mgh, and in right side it is already given mgs. Now m cancel out with each other, g cancel out. Capital H comes out to be s by 4. The first part of the question is solved, in which we have to calculate the value of height at which this condition exists. The first option s by 4. On observing, I see 1, 2, 3, 3 options are correct according to s by 4. Now I have to calculate the value of velocity. For velocity, we use the concept of kinetic energy. As we all know, the value of kinetic energy is 3pe. Okay, the value of kinetic energy is 3pe. Pe means potential energy. The value of potential energy is mgh. For h we put s by 4 because we have solved. Okay, at the height at which the condition exists is s by 4. So we have put the value of h as s by 4. Okay, and this is the required value of kinetic energy according to this numerical, and the value of kinetic energy we know half mv square. Or comparing both the condition, we get potential as velocity as root 3 gs upon 2. That is our required option number 1. Okay, this is an important question in which we have to calculate the two parameters. First is the height and other is the velocity. So this type of question you have to solve very carefully, and by just application of conservation of energy and the values of kinetic and potential energy. Now moving to the next part, the question is related to your series parallel concept of resistance. The effective resistance of a parallel connection that consists of 4 resistors of equal length, equal area of cross section and equal metal is this. Okay, there are 4 resistance, and the value of 4 resistance is effective value is 0.25 ohm. What will be the effective if they are connected in series? Okay, we are provided with 4 resistance, first, second, third and fourth. Okay, these are all fourth connection. When they are connected in parallel, the effective value comes out to be, R effective we can say comes out to be 0.25 ohm. Okay, what will happen if they are connected in series, R1, R2, R3 and R4. Okay, this is our first resistance R1, this is second R2, this is R3, this is R4 and this is R1, R2, R3 and R4. This is actually series connection and this is parallel connection. Okay, so we all know in parallel case the resistance divided by 4, R by 4 is equal to 0.25. Okay, solving we get R is equal to 1, and in case of series resistance add up 1 into 4 times, that is 4R, 4 ohm. Okay, that is our option number A. So the effective value in series combination will be 4 ohm. Okay, this is all about some of the important previous year questions that were asked in your NEET examination. In the upcoming series, we will discuss some more questions and some more concepts behind the previous year questions and how question can be framed in your upcoming examination. This is all about today's class. Thank you.